last presenter today is Marcus Young.
Hello, everybody. Over the years, I've learned so much from Eureka. I'm very thankful. Let's see. So I'm going to tell you about something I did recently, and I'd like you to imagine that you also did it. And that is, about 14 weeks ago, I took a vast majority of the things in my home and in my storage that were sort of like smaller than a pillow, and did that scrape out of my house and out of the storage unit and brought it all to the museum. And every week I would go to the museum and I would just confront my own suffering, I guess, really all my things that I had accumulated. You know, if a museum has a collection, then I had a collection, my life of 45 years collecting stuff. Some of it good, some of it not so good, and I'm sure you can all relate. And I finished this project just yesterday. They delivered back the stuff that I decided to keep back to my home. But you know, so I'll just show you some pictures. So this is me just trying to deal with my things. And there I am in the gallery with my stuff. So imagine you doing that too, bringing all your stuff to the museum. This was my house like before the scrape, and then this of course is the after, so you can imagine all of it moving in piles. And okay, so go back to this one for a second. So, you know, I confronted that moment. I'm standing in my bedroom, I'm looking at my decorative pillows, and I really thought I loved my decorative pillows, but they also created a lot of suffering for me, because in order to have those pillows that don't do anything, just make your bed look like a magazine, you know, you have to have a drawer to put them in, or you have to put them on the floor. And a drawer to put them in, you have to have a little thing with a drawer. And so it just, I realized like this is not making any sense to me. And I stood there for like 5-10 minutes going, oh, I can't take this to the museum, I want this because I bought it as a set and it was on sale at Macy's. But the project is about me giving things away and not keeping all these things. So it took me about 10 minutes to make that decision. And the moment I put it in the pile for to take to the museum, I just relaxed. I felt a little bit happier. But it did cause a little bit of inconvenience. You know how in every drawer you have a paper clip, right? Well, one day I needed a paper clip. I had no paper clips in the entire house. One day I was supposed to go to a wedding and I couldn't find my cufflinks, so I had to use twist ties. You know, but no big deal, because I wasn't the groom, so no one cared. So this is a type of suffering, sort of self-imposed upsetting of my life that I actually feel like we all want to, on some level perhaps, want to go through. My pitch to the summit organizers is that maybe next time we do a summit, I would be happy to lead a group of people through this process, which is it's actually spiritual work, to look at all the things in your life and to confront them and to ask what got me to this point. Susan said, what does it mean to own? What does it mean to dispossess, to unown? What does it mean to be uncomfortable with fewer things than we think we should have? So what I do is I call behavioral art, and that just means art that's made out of your own mind, body, and spirit in the everyday context. And that means everyone is a behavioral artist because we're all behaving all the time. And that the repertoire of behavior is much richer and more colorful than we know it to be. So I'm just proposing a behavioral form, which is take all the stuff in your life, put it in a museum for X number of weeks, and go and sort, and be in better, more peaceful relationship with yourself and the things that you have collected. So I want to read you this little poem by, you may know Derek Walcott, Love After Love. So if the premise is that we all are behavioral artists, then you just follow the logic, which means that you're working on your life, which is your masterpiece work of art. And so we should all take this time, this sort of spiritual, contemplative confrontation of our stuff as a way to work on your masterpiece. So Derek Walcott, Love After Love, he says, "The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. So I'll end with a final work of art that Eureka helped me create, which was Wishes for the Sky. This was just about making wishes, so talk about ideal zero waste activity, making wishes, right? We promoted this. We just created an entire day on Earth Day where a couple thousand people would come down to Harriet Island, write wishes on kites, and fly them together in the air, so you could see visually all of our wishes flying in the sky together. And after a couple thousand people came through this 5 or 6 hour event, there's Miriam with a bag of trash. That was the bag of, diapers, really. It was largely. But, the amazing sort of feat of a couple thousand people coming through and not making much waste at all. So in that spirit, recently I went back and read many of the hundreds of wishes on the kites, and there is nothing more reassuring about humanity than when you get to read everyone's wishes, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So I don't think I have much time left, but I will take the last 20 seconds perhaps to ask all of us in a few moments of silence to make our own wishes right now, and just know that in this room, across this room, all these wishes are on our collective mind. So will you just do that for 10 seconds? Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.